Public perception on YouTube is a slippery slope. While I want to say that the way you're perceived is entirely based on your actions, we both know that isn't true. Obviously, in an ideal world, the only thing that would have an impact on how people perceive you would be your choices and actions. But that isn't the case for anyone, let alone YouTubers. YouTube is a popularity contest before anything else. We've seen it countless times. If you're a liked figure, then people will be far more lenient with you than they might have been with a complete nobody. Oh boy, I sure do love being sick. I've had this happen to me a fair few times, and I've never really been a fan of it, especially considering the community I was a part of. Everything I said about YouTube is still true. Just multiply it by 10 when thinking about the commentary community. A community known for its cliques, everyone backstabbing each other, and every creator having a double standard one way or another. I think the reason it's so much worse in commentary is because you're usually coming to a commentator expecting them to be a reasonable and honest person, but that's rarely if ever the case, and it leads to situations like the one I'll be talking about today. Daft Pina was a commentator? I mean, just kind of an art/artist reviewer as well. He's a commentary channel. His bread and butter content at the time was a mix of constructive criticism towards shows and artists, and exposing artists who did bad things like tracing and pedophilia. He was a guy who used to be respected by the inside and outside of his circle. But in just a year, any and all good grace he had built up was destroyed. A downfall like that needs to be studied, I think, because Daft was in a very rare position for someone his size. He already had a massive video critiquing him while he was still green, and before it would have dealt permanent damage to his career. While most people would be grateful for this opportunity and actually improve, Daft took this chance and threw it away. To me, Daft Pina never changed from his first video. He has always been a petty, dishonest hack. If there was anything that actually changed about the guy, it was that he got better at hiding all of his malicious tactics to paint a narrative about someone. But a character like that would eventually have their comeuppance, which is exactly what happened in 2023 where Daft Pina's world ended. But before we can witness that in all of its glory, I think a history lesson is in order to figure out exactly why everything Daft spent so long building would crumble down into dust. Let's go back to the beginning. But before that, look at these numbers. Aren't they just pathetic? Hi, I'm Boredoranges, wannabe millionaire and part-time influencer. Sorry, I gagged. I want to hit 100k before I die of old age, and you could help by hitting subscribe. Only about 20% of the people who watch my videos are, so if you like my content and find yourself coming back, then hit subscribe. It has a cool little rainbow effect every time I say it now. Subscribe. Subscribe. I have a Discord, we host bi-weekly events, and the members are just the nicest community of people. I have a Twitter and Instagram, which you should check out if you want to see my unhinged posting. And if you're feeling generous, you could give me your money. My legal team has informed me that that last sentence might give the wrong impression. Channel memberships give you all the benefits listed on screen, so do that if you have money to spare. I really need to buy a third Nintendo Switch. Anyway, back to the video. This story starts back in 2015. Oh my god! Part 1. Artist's blood. Nearly a decade ago, Daft Pina was already facing his first controversy. What was that controversy? It was tracing. If you know anything about Daft's brand, then you should be very confused. Some of Daft Pina's most popular YouTube videos at the time were about traces. Can you believe that the person calling out all of these traces would trace himself? Well, that just devalues all of these videos. If the clear sarcasm wasn't clear and obvious, I don't think that's the case. Dumb teenagers be doing stupid things should become a saying with how many times I've had to say it in my videos. And as much as I legitimately don't like Daft, I will be fair and say that's what this early stuff really boils down to. He did something really stupid, I need to say, and tried to learn from it, which is good. It's similar to criminals becoming police officers, which literally never happens. Gee, I wonder why. Daft Pina would enter the beta stages of his content creation, where he would post videos similar to what his main content would become, but without any of the production value.
The Fear Raiser, whom I'll be calling Jordan, because that's his name. has over 1 million subscribers, and despite this, he only has 4 patrons on his Patreon page. And you might be asking, golly gee, that's a bit of a low number for such a high sub count. And if you're disappointed in the amount of supporters he has on Patreon, well, you should check out his view counts for his recent videos.
Don't let Daft's monotone voice fool you. He was really passionate about the stuff and making sure that these people got the criticism he believed they deserved. Fuck.
Started over a year ago, and if that's all she can do to improve, I think Chili Panda should stop drawing. Then just try something else.
That's our glorious king right there, telling an artist to quit instead of improving. Jesus Christ. Daft would drop videos following this format pretty regularly. His biggest and most memorable videos were easily his video on Speechy, The Fear Raiser, Remember Them, and Jaiden animations. Oh no. So, I'm not really sure why, but in the latter half of 2018, Daft suddenly developed this almost one-sided petty rivalry with another YouTuber called Jaiden Animations. As I said, I really don't know why this happened. I've personally managed to gaslight myself into thinking that this all came to Daft in a vivid dream, where Jaiden Animations revealed her true colors and dared Daft to expose the truth. That's the only reason I can think of someone to go this far to embarrass themselves and receive little to nothing in return. Now, I'm not daft enough to not know that Daft did apologize to Jaiden Animations and deleted the video. However, the reason I bring up this almost 7-year-old video is because this single clip would dictate the next 6 years of Daft's content. During this saga of trashing Jaiden Animations, Daft was, and I'm not mincing words here, a bad critic in every way imaginable. I wish I could play the entire video to show you what I mean, but I can't because that would be a very boring video. Daft takes every single opportunity to take Jaiden Animations in the worst possible way in order to paint a narrative that she was trying to get people harassed, was using her fans as a shield from criticism, just a bunch of malarkey really.
I messaged the person who was taking a lot of video footage and asked them if I could censor my face out. I'm not going to mention who this person is because that detail doesn't add anything to this story and I don't think it would benefit anyone if I did. They agreed, so I spent the afternoon editing their video censoring my face. When I finished and sent it over a few hours later, they told me they changed their mind and wanted to post the normal video. I was absolutely mortified.
Well, in the video, she never mentions who that person was. Now, why do you think that? Maybe it's because she still wants to work with that person in the video. Or just by not saying their name, that person would get bullied even more after this video is released.
Like, how does this make any sense to anyone with a working brain? Step 1. Fake a disorder. Step 2, make a video not mentioning the YouTuber I want to get harassed. Step 3, aha, you've triggered my trap card. Now that YouTuber I want to get harassed is getting doubly harassed because I didn't mention them. This apparent plan has so many holes in it that I want to be classified as some sort of cheese. What was he cooking? I'm not gonna harp on this Jaiden Animations bit for too long because this video gets even spicier, yeah. But also because I think I'm deadass gonna have a nosebleed if I continue consuming this content. This type of bad faith journalism was found in basically all of Daft Pina's video at the time. The only video I can think of that actually had no problems was his Fox Goodman video. But that's because you don't need to build an agenda against the guy since he does all of that himself. This was also during the era where shitting on storytime animations were super profitable because of perceived issues like everyone having the same superficial character traits like having anxiety. The irony isn't lost on me that it was mostly commentary YouTubers having these takes. It's fine though. In 2024, the genre of storytime animation is dominated by content mills assholes, which is exactly what's happening to the commentary community. Oh man, I sure do wonder why people are trying to shift genres. Hopefully everyone is having the same thought as me. The thought of wanting to go back and rip into Daft Pina and his horrible videos. But someone thankfully did that. Quinn Curio made an over hour-long video on the critics of storytime animators, and honestly kind of verbally doo-dooed on all of them. This video sits at over 1 million views today, so lots of people have seen it, including Daft Pina, and shockingly, his response was good. He took all the criticism given to him, tried to improve for the better, and then actually allowed Quinn to look through all of his scripts to make sure that he was being fair. Because of this, Daft would go on to have a very lengthy career as an art critic before retiring after hitting 1 million subscribers. And none of that happened. Somehow, despite having the person that was one of Daft Pina's biggest critics on his side, did not make him change. He just started picking targets who couldn't fight back because they were idiots. Part 2. Migraine tendency. Before I talk about Daft Pina's second biggest fuck up, I think it's important to talk about all of the times Daft Pina straight up lied or withheld information to paint a narrative about someone after Quinn Curio's videos. Let's start with Antunes. Antunes, I'm gonna be honest, was not helping himself at all, especially with the garbage responses he had to this video and the art commentary community as a whole, which is saying something considering the term art commentary is exclusively used derogatively now. So going back to 2020 and 2021, Antunes was getting into a lot of fights on Twitter, and Daft, out of the kindness of his heart, gave Antunes a platform to defend himself. He had a 3-hour-long interview with Antunes and only used 6 minutes of it in his video. Wait, what? That's like 3% of the whole call. There's definitely a lot of missing context if that's the case. And Daft has never released it despite saying he would. That's weird. Weirdest still is that after Antunes actually did sort out stuff with Puppy-chan, I cannot be bothered to explain the unimaginably depressing life that Puppy-chan lived for them to get into beef with Antunes. So go watch Turkey Tom's video and come back. But Antunes sorted out stuff with Puppy-chan, and then Daft got screenshots from before they made up to say that Antunes was planning to backstab Puppy-chan, reigniting everything. YouTube journalism at its finest right here, folks. This obviously got Antunes a lot of shit, and when Antunes did try to defend himself by bringing up the lost call and Daft's pot stirring, nobody took him seriously. To be fair, that's more Antunes' fault than anyone else's, but that's beside the point. And methinks Antunes got off a lot easier than other creators, like Ethereal Art. Another one of these Twitter racists, as Daft would like you to believe. However, Ethereal Art was a black and gay person. This was mysteriously absent from Daft Pina's video. Ethereum would also add that Daft and his associates never reached out to him despite having literal pedophiles in his videos for interviews. But don't worry, Daft's associate responded. Imagine cancelling a gay little black guy for saying the dreaded N or Fs off Twitter with friends. Too bad you or Beta never reached out to me once. So I've just been chilling. Taking edgelord shitposts out of context is the best you got. But thanks for the free publicity. Don't owe you shit or need to reach out to you when there's clear evidence of you being homophobic, transphobic, racist, and sexist. You see, it's fine because they called him racist again. What's this? New interview of Antunes coming out tomorrow. And don't get me wrong, Ethereal Art is a transphobe misogynist and just overall a shitty person. Daft knew this and still had to add on false allegations to try and really hammer that point home, because being transphobic and misogynistic clearly don't bring in the views. We were so close, dude, so close. If I had to summarize this part of the story, it was that in nearly every one of Daft's videos that wasn't about his friends or someone he liked, there was usually a random claim thrown in for no reason to make that person look worse. For example, that time he tried to call someone a bad father for some vague tweets.
Y'all did fat shame the fuck out of me though. But guess what? It worked. I went on a diet immediately.
Now he works out 2 to 3 times a day. Not sure how he's gonna keep up with the newborn baby. You don't sound like the healthiest mindset, but okay. Saying especially because it might happen again.
Oh yes, the very normal thing to speculate over. And this is coming from someone who made jokes about a broken relationship 2 years ago. I was wrong for that, by the way. Also, little bits of the old Daft Pina would come out whenever he was talking about particularly big storytime animators, or more specifically, anyone associated with Jaiden Animations or The Odd Ones Out. Like Like that one time he tried to show up at an animator's studio for a bit, which isn't creepy at all. Keep this bit in mind for the next part of the video. It's sure to knock your socks off. Despite all of the glaring problems of Daft's content at the time, he was still mostly liked by people due to his clear growth as a person and his non-biased constructive criticism. So basically, Daft's reputation was at its very best. As long as he kept doing things this way and didn't suddenly start freaking tweaking, things were going to be completely fine for him. But after uncovering something about The Odd Ones Out, Daft Pina just couldn't help himself. Part 3. Hypocrisy Crusaders. The Odd Ones Out is one of the biggest storytime animation YouTubers on the platform, who actually still does storytime animations. He is also one of the nicest public figures on the site, who really just spreads positivity, and also is a furry. I'm not sure what beef had against The Odd Ones Out, but my assumption is that this all started with The Odd Ones Out being reasonably angry with Daft's slanderous Jaiden Animations video. While Jaiden Animations did the noble thing and accepted Daft's apology, The Odd Ones Out probably didn't, and Daft probably took this as a personal attack. I'm really annoyed by how many times I've had to say the word probably, so here are some facts. The Odd Ones Out was facing controversy for making a mobile game with ads because he had said this in the past.
But they're only disguised as free because they bombard you with ads. Okay, I guess I do that too, but what do you want from me?
Daft smelt blood in the water and did his very best to make the biggest hit piece on his channel at the time. The Odd Ones Out. Hidden Hypocrisy. Wait, that's not the right one. There we go. I wonder why nearly 7 minutes of this video disappeared without a trace. Short answer is because Daft messed up big time, but where's the fun in that? This specific video is an encapsulation of every single issue I have with Daft Pina. Taking someone in the worst possible way, using rat tactics to back up his point, and a blatant disregard for the apparent victim of the situation. The video starts with Daft criticizing The Odd Ones Out for deleting videos to appear more family friendly.
Behind the family friendly nature lies a wake of deleted videos for one reason or another, in an effort to be more advertiser friendly and less edgy, such as, say, the video where he talks about being conceived.
You see, my mom was having fertility problems and wanted to have some— Wow, are you telling me you're some sort of test tube baby?
I mean, that didn't seem like a gross story.
The fact that Daft of all people is having an issue with this, especially now, is hilarious. This point to me literally has no value because almost everyone on YouTube deletes old videos. Even me, and even Daft Pina. It is very easy to believe that The Odd Ones Out just wasn't proud of these videos. He grew as a person. Oh no! Like, even as a point to show how edgy The Odd Ones Out was, it still doesn't hold up because number one, based, and number two, these jokes aren't even that bad. These jokes are so minor, and watching Daft trying to make these small jokes into something bigger is just embarrassing. The brain does not stop developing until you are 26, and I'm not even mentioning the fact that there could have been people in The Odd Ones Out life that educated him better over time. But no, according to Dumbass 1 and 2, The Odd Ones Out not talking about this stuff actually means he's hiding his past and isn't trying to address it.
Which, speaking of topics, he mentions how he wants to make a BLM comic.
Play on the Black Lives Matters, because lives and licorice start with an L. And that was it. I thought it was funny. I'm not saying anything bad about Black Lives Matter. I've made comics about Hitler, Satan, bears eating babies, and okay, a couple of people were offended from the bear one. But just mentioning BLM, I don't know if I'd get in trouble for that or not. So I'm not gonna make that comic idea, but it's okay, because I still gotta say it in this video.
Wait, didn't James make a BLM post in 2020? I don't remember him mentioning this video.
Oh, so if Daft ever made a post about eating disorders, he'd have to bring up his Jaiden Animations video? Could you imagine a BLM tweet where a big YouTuber randomly brings up a comic he made 5 years ago? I get the feeling that it'd have the opposite of its intended effect. Daft Pina's entire point of this video is to try his very best to accuse The Odd Ones Out of being racist, and he failed miserably. The first way he does this is by bringing up one of those deleted posts, and the second was bringing on another POC to argue points for him. If you need a POC to argue that a person is racist for you, maybe you should check if your argument actually holds up and doesn't fall apart at the softest breeze, like when Daft's guest speaker says this.
He then goes on to say that he doesn't understand what's wrong with Uncle Remus from Song of the South, a film he never saw? Is James really that arrogant? Oh, then he compares it to Jar Jar Binks for some reason. Didn't think that when a person of color tells you something is bad, you double down with some weird analogy.
Well, if I'm seeing this right, I'm a POC too. So do I get to dictate what's wrong race-wise? Do you think you need to rethink your life if your whole argument is if a POC tells you something is racist, you can't argue against it? Yes, definitely, absolutely.
There in Danville.
God, how did a single soul ever think this was a good video? The second anybody saw this part, they should have fucking exploded. I can't defend the Odd Ones Out opinions on race at the time, but Daft & Co do such a poor job arguing that the Odd Ones Out comes out of this looking mostly normal. Daft was so desperate to make this criticism shit stick that he relies on a literal crazy person to do it.
What is funny is that James got his wish of voicing a black guy, as in the video Strangers Trying to Sell You Stuff. He gives the person a vague accent.
Then he pulls his car over and says, "All right, listen, fellas, I'm traveling to Buckeye and I need $8 for gas, but I forgot my wallet at home." And I thought, that's coincidentally how much a pack of cigarettes costs.
While watching this, I thought, hey, why didn't James get someone else to voice the part? The answer is, stop asking stupid questions and look how funny James is.
Oh yes, the YouTuber who voices every single character in every single video is racist for not giving POC voice roles. So I guess he's also sexist for voicing all the women in his videos too? I just don't get how this point even works out. I need to actually sit down, my head hurts. This video just stinks in general, dude. From the foundation and title alone, Daft used the fact that the Odd Ones Out was having a mini controversy to attach a bunch of bullshit claims to try and ruin the dude's image. Want proof? The title of this video is about the mobile game, the game he talks about for maybe 5 minutes. I was actually gonna move on to the stuff that happened after the video, but then I remembered the something else YT stuff, and I literally screamed, oh my god, that's in this video? The something else YT section is somehow even worse than the racism stuff, where Daft says because it's just
Jesus Christ, parasocial!
Daft looked through tweets from the Odd Ones Out and combed through videos to make the claim that he wasn't friends with another YouTuber because they weren't speaking publicly or promoting one another. This is the most parasocial thing a YouTuber has ever said, holy shit. It only gets worse when Daft brings up the Odd Ones Out's girlfriend.
Come to think of it, in like a recent video, James talks about his current girlfriend. I bring this up as if they broke up. Would he delete the video? Is that why she isn't named? So he can just keep the video up if they broke up?
Or maybe, just maybe, his girlfriend wants privacy and doesn't want any defining features on videos to maintain said privacy. But yeah, no, it's because he doesn't want to have to remove the videos, including her. I'm sure this is very reasonable and not Daft doing the most insane mental gymnastics to justify his hate boner for the human representation of a cinnamon roll. Oh, and even though I finished the video, there was still stuff I have to talk about, because of course there is. The supposed victim of the Odd Ones Out racism. You know, the whole point of Daft's video? Like, outside of being insane, Daft tries to pretend that he actually cares for the victim. Yeah, no. So one of the requirements was that Daft doesn't put a sponsor on the video, and he just did it anyway. So in the video trying to prove how the Odd Ones Out was an uncaring racist, Daft disregards and betrays the little bit of trust they had. Awesome. Now what if I told you that it only gets worse? Daft's whole point is using deleted stuff against the Odd Ones Out, but when he does the same to Daft?
Because of what you said, I will never work with you or watch your videos, as the videos I've watched have been extremely disrespectful and biased AF, and when you inevitably leak this DM, let me explain to your audience why I feel this way. Ooh, he's gonna explain why he feels this way.
And then he goes on to list his grievances, starting with my Jaiden video, which this conversation took place after I apologized to Jaiden. but I guess he forgot.
Also, he cut 7 whole minutes out of this video without saying a word. Oh man, I guess Daft isn't comfortable facing his past or something. Thank you, guest speaker. Like, the whole point of your video was to use this victim's story to make the guy look bad, but Daft managed to expose his hidden hypocrisy. Hey, look at that! Part 4, my IP is untraceable. So after losing a bit of my sanity a little bit, where I said little twice, I'm back with a new section that I've thankfully already covered while having COVID, which removes a lot of the emotional stress found in the last section. Daft decided to go on the warpath on Twitter against a poor artist catfishing people. You know, it's not the worst crime. As Daft said, he never had any intention of turning this into a video. He kind of just called out this artist for no particular reason with no intention of making a video. Let's be honest, for a hot moment, this was going to be a whole thing. There is no way Daft would just leave this info out there and do nothing with it. I want to let everyone know that the CEO of MILFs is a literal pedophile, and Daft still pulled out old screenshots to try and say they were racist. When TinaFate clowned on him, Daft doxed them. By accident. The reason this happened is because Daft showed people exactly how to find this person's details, and this led to TinaFate's family getting harassed as a result. Thank you very much, Twitter activists. Very cool. This section doesn't really need that much detail other than me telling you that doxing is bad, and if you have someone's personal information, you must be doubly careful you don't show it by accident like Daft. I am so glad that he never spoke about this situation again and left it alone until the one time he made a video on it, but that doesn't count. I try to avoid talking about stuff directly involving me because I'm obviously gonna be biased. So I will play a single clip from this video so the viewers at home can get why I haven't been taking this section too seriously.
I see there are a lot of people saying this should have and could have been handled privately, and while there are things that should be handled privately that people have absolutely no business butting into.
Now, I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, but this singular point invalidates nearly every single video on Daft's channel. You're a commentary channel. You and Vidish Joe speculated on the condition of young Dawn's family and whether Dawn is a good father. And yet, people calling Daft out for doxing someone is something we shouldn't butt our heads into. I'm not even going to talk about the LS Mark stuff yet, but I find it very ironic that people calling you out is too far. I'm not even saying it's a good point either and that Daft is just a hypocrite because of it. In what universe would people not comment on someone doxing a Twitter artist? This video sucks. The end. It invalidates 90% of the videos on Daft's channel at the time, so I don't know why this point was made. It's just Daft trying to mend his big fuck up. And while his research was actually good, he can't help himself and tries to attack his critics while also making every video on his channel invalid. And yes, I know Joey was saying this, but Daft put this in his video. Just because he's not saying it doesn't mean he doesn't agree. I hope by now this video has shown exactly why I don't fuck with Daft Penis. I think he genuinely hinders more than he's ever helped, and he is anything but fair and non-biased. He's straight up vindictive of all of the shit he tries to pull once he decided he doesn't like a person. While videos did exist calling out this stuff, nope, not you, Daft never really responded to any of the criticism and was getting away with being a bellend, or at least he was, because it seemed like the final straw for the internet was when Daft went after his own friends. Part 5, Pina's win. That doesn't even make sense. This is the most recent thing that happened with Daft, and it's incredibly long-winded and stupid, and Daft is obviously at the center of it because he's a manipulative maniac. In early 2023, a YouTuber called Just Stop dropped a video regarding the partner of LS Mark. This isn't me trying to sum up Veronica as just Mark's partner, by the way. It's because the video was literally titled LS Mark, Dangers in Fucking Dating. 2023 was off to a ravishing start, folks. We've got commentary videos on people's partners now. This video is really This video is really bad. So bad, in fact, that Just Stop removed it after 5 days, and that was that. It was all Daft Pina! Everything! All of it! All him! Just Stop made a follow-up video where he goes into detail on Daft's manipulation. If you want the whole thing, go watch it. But a summary of this video is that the original video, the research carried out, and parts of the script all had Daft's stench on it. And that's because he went to Just Stop with this stuff and said that he couldn't possibly do it because his reputation was so bad. Just Stop was literally Daft Pina's fall guy. Of course, however, Daft still couldn't keep his own personal bullshit out of the video.
I could also see that Daft wanted to make a large portion of the video about his personal grievances with another creator, Sunny TM, who was tangentially involved with the duo. You might know, if you saw the video, that the section on him doesn't really mention Daft at all, other than briefly at the very beginning. That's because I talked him out of including a 6-minute summary of their interactions together, as it was completely unnecessary and petty compared to what I had found in relation to Dubus Goobus. He just wouldn't let the Sunny section be, though. It always had to have an extra bit showing Sunny is underhanded, Sunny is a bitch, Sunny sucks dick for money, just on and on. Since Daft kept scrolling his social media looking for things to add, all of which I shot down, well, other than one. At the very end of the Sunny section, I briefly mentioned that Discord moderators stated Sunny posted the nudes of a girl in the Oni Plays Discord server. However, there was no physical proof of this happening, so I wanted to exclude it entirely. But Daft was insistent that I keep it, so I did, with the prerequisite that it was unconfirmed but matched with Sunny's behaviors.
I'm not really sure why it was so important to find out about this random person, but pop off king. Once Just Stop dropped this additional video, a lot of things seemed a lot clearer and a lot of people had a new person to be mad at. And while I'm here, I want to debunk the theory that Just Stop dropped all of this onto Daft. Firstly, no one other than Daft has come out to disprove this, even the people who would have had evidence for it. Secondly, that title has Daft's name all over it, dude. Just Stop had been making media reviews for the better part of a year at this point. This was all so sudden, but do you know who was making these types of videos for years? Daft Pina, case closed, even for the stuff I wasn't there for. In all seriousness, Daft was likely behind this, and because of that, a lot of people wanted answers. And they would get one with this video. No, you don't get to do that. Daft Pina doesn't pretend to be a victim in a situation that he puppeteered. This video was Daft trying to use the same tactics he'd used for years. Considering the responses to just the tweet alone, you can probably assume how good the video was. I'm moving away from drama. It wasn't healthy for me to make, and I was deteriorating mentally in continuing. I have said many terrible things that I regret and I wish I could take back. But people should hold me accountable. Best of luck to Mark/Braxton in their future endeavors. He did try again to make a personal video with the black screen and I don't care. First thing, he brings up his surgery. Unless a fucking ghost possessed him both before and after the surgery, I doubt this had any effect on his actions. Of course, I have sympathy for him having to put a metal pole in his chest, but let's be honest here. Thankfully, Daft said exactly what I thought of him.
But this caused a lot of situations to be mishandled. A lot of my content back then was scathing, cold, and ruthless, with contradictions and double standards. The videos were more personal than the standard coverage, and I had really high expectations in the I wouldn't have done this sort of thing. Some of these would include the videos I made about the Adwin's Out's products. I was just some guy out here with a microphone and camera while he was actually out there making stuff. I was way too harsh on him and his team. I'd also gone too far into his personal life, both his former experience with his high school friend, as well as his then girlfriend, and is never my place to cover. Also, for another creator, Choi Panda, I did tell her to stop drawing, but no one should stop their art journey, even if it takes a bit to improve, or not. Art is not a competition, it's whatever you want out of it. Since then, the video had been taken down, and I was able to apologize to her face to face. I had also made up with Tim Tom, even watching the video I made about him at VidCon 2019 with him, very nice fella. Though I should clarify that not all my terrible videos were caused by my serious pain, but rather it was a catalyst that pushed me further down to negativity. It was not a healthy way of processing my feelings. It became something I thought was justified the further I dug deeper. I would also make unnecessary personal digs at people that didn't help my videos, but only my ego. This would cause otherwise normal videos to be tainted by my need to add stuff that didn't need to be there.
I'm glad he apologized for everything. I'm glad that he acknowledged everything he did wrong, and I'm glad that Daft Pina would disappear after this point. Part 6. My ocean is a snake or something? I don't know. Do you get the JoJo reference? Do you get it? Do you get it? Where is Daft Pina now? Well, he is still posting videos under a new name, and for the sake of letting him get his new start, I won't bring up the channel name or anything like that. I'll just say my final few thoughts of him before ending the video. I don't like Daft Pina. Not on a YouTube level, but like me, TinaFate doesn't like this guy. I think he is also a guy who caused a lot of grief for a lot of people, and while he did apologize for the scars he left on people, they haven't fully healed yet. The stuff he did was bad, so bad for so long, and despite so many people trying to get through to him and tell him to chill the fuck out, he never listened until his public relations were so low that he literally could not continue in that state anymore. If I had to pick my final words for this guy, it'd be this. I couldn't actually think of an insult. Thanks for watching the video. I have no updates other than my next video is going to be an hour, unfortunately. Can you feel just how excited I am to edit that one? Other than that, it's been more of the same. I have a scheduled break in July because my silly little birthday is coming up. Yippee! Only $5 channel members are invited though. Like Killer B, Some Dude, Levi, Sabin, The Wolf Drake, Hobby Yellow, in parentheses infected, Nate Rassman, Israfel's Fire, Ant, Pwep, Nokocho Official, Grizzly Bear 1996, and Kinda Snowy. Y'all are great. I just said y'all, what the fuck? I also have something special for all of them next month, so if you don't want to miss out on that, then you should also become a channel member. I'm gonna go touch grass now. So have a good day. See you lads.